So you want to know how to calculate your shop rate. If you don't know these numbers, you're doomed to be unprofitable or unbusy. All the stuff we're going to talk about goes into everybody's shop rate. Most commonly what I see before people start asking these questions is they're super busy, they've got a backlog, there's tons of work coming in and out of the shop, but they're just not making any money and they can't figure out why. So maybe you know a shop down the street that's charging $150 an hour and they're slap busy the whole time. And you're over here charging $50 an hour and can't figure out why your shop's not full. Or you could be just starting out with a truck or a garage setup and you don't even know where to start and how to charge or how other people are charging for their stuff, and you want to make sure you're getting your fair shake. So if any of these three things just hit home with you, you're going to want to watch this video because I'm going to give you some indispensable knowledge that's going to pay for the rest of your career. I've got bad news and I've got good news. The bad news is it's math class time. I'm sorry, there's no way around it. If you want to deal with money, you've got to do some math. The good news is it's really easy math to do. There's nothing magical back here that anybody's hiding from you. So I created the handy dandy shop rate calculator. Bring it away. Okay, obviously I'm not made for the stage, but it doesn't mean that these numbers are just made for welding shops. These will help any contractor, home improvement guy, mechanic. The principles are all the same. The industry changes a little bit here and there, but all the stuff we're going to talk about goes into everybody's shop rate. Number one on the list up here is what I call hard labor costs. This is what you're paying your guys on the check. I pulled some average data out of one of my businesses. This isn't exact numbers, so I rounded everything a little bit just to make the math easier to follow, but you're going to want to drill down and use really, really exact numbers. So if you're paying somebody 27, 23, you're going to want to put that up here. And basically what it is it is the wage, hourly wage of all your employees. So if you've got one at $10 an hour, $20 an hour, $30 an hour, $50 an hour, you're going to add all those up and you're going to divide by the number of employees. So there's the formula right there. After that, you've got overtime. This is overlooked a lot. People don't figure out their overtime rate inside of their labor calculation, and then they try and make it up in all kinds of weird ways on the back end. But basically what I did is I went into our bookkeeping software and I looked up how much overtime did we run on average each year. And that number for us is 15%. So what you do is your average wage, $30, times 1.5, that gives you your overtime rate, because we're paying time and a half. If you've got double time in your state, you're going to want to probably make this 1.75. That way you split the difference between your time and a half and your double time rate. And once you get that number, you're going to multiply that by 0.15. That's my 15% average overtime that I run each year. And that gives you $6.75 of overtime money, and it's already got your time and a half in it. That's just the easiest way to add this across here. Next we got payroll taxes. Yes, taxes suck, but you gotta pay them, otherwise they're gonna take everything you've got. So payroll taxes are 7.65%. So all you do is you take your total wage, well actually, sorry, it's the total wage, which is both these numbers added together, so it'd be $36.75 times 0.0765, and that's going to give you your payroll tax contribution. So every single time you have an hour of work, you're going to have to pay $281 to Uncle Sam. There's no way around it. So if you don't do the math, you're going to lose $281 every hour you're working. Then we've got health insurance. Health insurance is optional, but people leave jobs for either better pay or better conditions, and healthcare is one of those conditions that's really, really valuable to people. So as your company grows, you can start contributing or paying for their healthcare. You're going to have happier, healthier people that are going to stick with you a lot longer, and you're going to save all of those costs of onboarding and training new people, and that just starts to steamroll as you get more and more employees together. So our average is $2.50 worth of our company contribution to health insurance. So that is the total insurance cost for the year or the month or the week, however you want to calculate it, divided by the total hours in that same period. So if we have $100,000 a year worth of health insurance contributions, and we worked 40,000 hours that year, we're just going to divide 100,000 by 40,000 hours, and that's going to get you your health insurance contribution. Then we go to consumables. There's several ways to calculate this out. My favorite way is to go into my bookkeeping software and look at all of our basically consumable costs. We label them as we put them in the bookkeeping, but there's easier ways to do this. You can just keep track of your invoices, all the gas, the wire, the buffing wheels, sandpaper, safety glasses, gloves. All that stuff needs to go into this consumable cost right here. And I'll take that total annual consumable cost, which is 150K, and we divide that by the number of hours we worked in that year, which is 40,000. And that will give us $3.75. So every hour someone's working down here, they're burning up $3.75 worth of stuff. So they're using the safety glasses, they're using the gloves, they're consuming welding wire, they need shielding gas. All that stuff is going to go right here under your consumable cost. Next up, we have utilities. And by now, you guys are seeing the math isn't that crazy, right? It's really straight up and down, easy stuff to keep track of, but you are going to have to do some digging in your own business to come up with your own numbers. So we took our total utility cost, which is about 40 grand last year, divide that by 40,000 hours we worked, and we get $1 an hour worth of electricity consumption for every single hour we're working down here in the shop. So make sure you've got your electricity covered. And like I said, guys, this is not exotic stuff. Any type of business you have, this shop rate calculator is going to come in handy and let you understand your true cost, because you can't figure out how much you're going to mark that up and make off of each hour if you don't know how much each hour is actually costing you in your shop. Next up, we have rent. This shouldn't surprise anybody either. Pretty common knowledge. You guys have to have a building to work in, and that building costs money. So you're going to take your total rent for the year and divide it by the number of hours that you work. You can do it by the month, you can do it by the year, you can do it by the week. However you guys want to slice it up, this math problem is going to give you the correct number at the end. So for us, I'm really aggressive on my building payments. I'm trying to pay this thing off soon. So our building cost is really high, in my opinion. If you're in some other places like California or any big metro area, this might seem cheap to you, but here in Tennessee, this is a major contribution for all of our labor that has to go to paying this building off as fast as possible, because I hate being in debt. I use it when I need to, but I'm always trying to service it down as fast as possible. You guys can come up with your own strategies there. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but that's where I'm at. Is I started with no debt for years and years, and then eventually I slowly started getting loans on key pieces of equipment that were going to grow our shop and multiply the human potential of my workers. That is 150K a year divided by 40,000. That gives us $3.75 in rent that every hour has to cover, so I can make my big aggressive payments and get the bank off my ass. And then one more, liability insurance. This is probably the biggest hurdle for most trade people getting started. When I got started straight out of the Ironworkers Union, into my garage, building that first plasma table, I could not get the insurance to do all the stuff I knew how to do. So I got insurance that covered me for non-critical. Do you guys understand what non-critical means to a welder? Everything made out of metal is critical. That's why it's not made out of wood. So that totally handcuffed me for the first year, definitely. Then the next year I got installs up to 10 feet. Next year I got installs up to 20 feet. And then finally I got installs and critical, everything I wanted to do after 3 years in business. So if you guys are getting ready to jump out on your own, liability insurance is a major consideration, and it screws up a lot of guys that have the trade skills, but the insurance company won't let you on the job site. So make sure you look into your insurance before you get rolling. So last year we paid about 40 grand in insurance, 40,000 hours, $1 an hour goes to insurance every single hour we're working. We're cruising pretty good. We got all of our costs figured out. This should enable you guys to be the hero of your shop. If you understand these numbers and know how to charge for your work, you guys are going to be the hero. I got some comments on the last video saying, you know, I'm the hero or something like that, and that's not the point of Hero Machine Co. Our whole concept is that you guys are the heroes. Most heroes don't have a logo on their chest, they wear a welding hood. And you guys are the ones that are the heroes in the shop. We're just supplying the tools that are gonna enable you to go and live your superhero story out in the world by making money, contributing to your employees' livelihood, being good members of your community, paying your taxes to help fund all this stupid crap everywhere in the world. Sorry, sidetrack, we won't get political here. This is not the channel for that. We're talking about machines and your guys' workshops. So you add that all up and then you get $51.56 of hard cost. Every single hour that we work in this shop costs me over $50. Every hour. It doesn't matter what we're doing. If we're sweeping the floor, it costs over 50 bucks. If we're welding something, it costs 50 bucks. If we're polishing, sanding, cutting wood, packaging, powder coating, it's gonna cost me $51.56. So all of a sudden, those guys having the conversation around the welding table with 6 people gets really expensive. That all-hands safety meeting in the morning gets really expensive. Those meetings where you've got 10 people in it and really only 2 people needed to talk to each other, really expensive. So you gotta keep that in mind. Every single hour, every single person is burning up this much money right here. That was the ugly part. Now on to the good part. The markup, right? So how much are we gonna mark up our cost? So we know it's gonna cost us $51.56 an hour to have this $30 an hour guy down on the floor putting in work. So you have to decide how much you're gonna mark up that work. And part of that is gonna have to do with what kind of work that you're doing. So if you are, I don't know, fabricating something really simple like base plates, or you're doing some really easy kind of awnings or something, you probably won't be able to mark up your stuff because you've got a lot of competition. So you're gonna have to keep your markup fairly low. If you're doing something super specialized like you know, aerospace work, or we chase architectural because it's a little higher margin business, less people are competing, or if you could just become a specialist in your field. This applies to carpentry, masonry, electrical work, HVAC. There's some weird little niche, something new that most people don't know about. There's not a lot of companies doing what you do. You can chase a higher markup and get a higher margin for your labor. But never go below 30%. 30% is a good, healthy margin for every single business out there. So 6703 is gonna be your shop rate if you're at 30% markup. And how you do that is you take your subtotal, which is this number right here that you got to, and you're gonna multiply that by 1.3. So 1.3 is gonna be a 30% markup. The 1 represents this 51.56, and the 0.3 represents that 30% extra that you're gonna charge your customers so that you make money. If you want 40% markup, you're gonna multiply by 1.4. That's gonna give you a shop rate of $72.18. If you want a 50% markup, you're gonna multiply by 1.5. That's gonna get you $77.34 of a shop rate. And that's gonna give you, down here at 30%, for every hour your guys work that's productive, you're gonna make $15.47 on their labor. 40% markup, you're gonna be making $20.62 an hour on their labor. 50% markup, you're gonna be making $25.78 per hour off of every single person in your shop. So, I mean, the $25 an hour sounds really great, but it might not be realistic for your area and for your set of tools. So at this point, you guys have great information on exactly how much it's costing you to operate your people inside of your shop, and you can make an educated decision on where your shop rate needs to be. It's really good policy to call around or have somebody call around and see if you can get other people's shop rate that are in your niche or in your industry or in your area and compare and contrast. But there's something sneaky that happens here that a lot of people miss. When you find out that that shop down the street has $150 an hour shop rate and you're over here struggling at 50 or 60 bucks an hour, how are they getting that money? And they're not getting that money just because they asked for it. They're getting that money because they've invested in higher technology. They've invested in equipment that gets more done per man hour than your company. So if you're producing more per hour, the parts cost actually goes down. Does that make sense? So if I'm charging $50 an hour over here and I can make 10 parts in an hour, and somebody else is charging $150 an hour over here, and they're making 50 parts per hour, per part, that's gonna be a smaller number, right? Because you're taking 10 parts divided by, or 50 bucks divided by 10 parts, or you're taking $150 divided by 50 parts. And how does that work out? Per unit, the customer is actually saving money by spending more per hour. So the best and fastest way to increase your shop rate is to invest in equipment. And that's what we do at Hero Machine Co. is we provide affordable, capable, high quality equipment that is the latest technology that's gonna let you keep up with, compete, and even pass all of your neighbors around you and the people in your industry that might be charging lower shop rates. So as you invest in more equipment, you can actually charge more money for every single hour of service, and your customer's price is gonna end up going down. So you're gonna win by making more profit, and they're gonna win by making more profit because they got cheaper parts. It's not magic, it's not relationships, it's math. So if you can do the math right here, you guys are gonna own your market. Hey, really appreciate you guys commenting on the last video. You guys asked for this shop rate calculator next, so that's what I did. I need some ideas for the next follow-up videos. We can do how to calculate a shop rate for each of your pieces of equipment that you have. We can cover how to bid jobs. I have a really cool calculator on Excel that I can share with you guys and teach you how to run through that thing. It's just kind of a boring video, but it's gonna be super valuable. Or you guys just wanna see some machine porn, have me run through here, break down how the laser cuts, how different material settings work. What do you guys want to see? Please let me know in the comments below. I am listening to you guys, and I love all of your support. All the comments and stuff keep me totally pumped to keep doing these videos. Really appreciate all you guys. If you like this video, go check out the last video where I break down plasma cutting versus laser cutting, and there's some stuff in there that might surprise you. So thank you so much. This is Adam with Hero Machine Co. Give me a call if you guys are looking for a laser, a press brake, or a plasma table. I got you.